Uh, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to day 36 of Trying to Become a Great Investor. This is VF Corporation Analysis Part 4. So, in the last episode, video, I was looking at analyzing the SG&A expense and how Steve Rendell's strategy for shifting shifting business to business strategies of VF corporations into direct to consumer and how that has impacted gross margins and how that's impacted selling, general, and administrative expenses. And we saw that the shift from direct to consumer, the shift towards direct to consumer has actually caused gross margins to increase, but at the same rate has caused selling, general, and administrative expenses to increase. And so it turns out that the spread between the two ended up tightening a little bit, suggesting that this strategy may not have been as productive as it should have been. And so I think before we get deeper into the episode, or I guess this stream, I'll recap what I'm trying to do here and also what we've done so far. Okay, so the main idea with this is I have a bit of money and I want to put that into a portfolio of different types of stocks. VF Corporation is a stock that I'm interested in looking at and doing some research. This is the first ever stock I'm looking at for the stream and for my portfolio. And I want to be able to write reports and do some really good fundamental analysis. And this is really the first time I'm kind of diving deep into a company and seeing the past, the present, the future, and then combining all these three to create a valuation. Now, VF Corporation, if you haven't heard of it, it's pretty much a holding company for a bunch of different brands. And these brands are all related in the apparel, footwear, and accessories business. So some of the biggest brands you've probably heard of are Vans, The North Face, Supreme, Timberland, Dickies, and I haven't done the analysis yet, but these brands represent a substantial amount of revenues that VF Corporation earns each year. And so that would be a good analysis to find. Let's see. That'll be some good analysis actually. So find out how much how much each brand, the 5 biggest brands. Find out how much the 5 biggest brands bring in revenue. Okay, yeah, that's good. So we want to find out how much the 5 biggest brands bring revenue. But regardless of that, oops. Okay, I'll just leave it here. And then I'll bring this up. Go live. So what I mentioned before, VF Corporation, it owns a bunch of these different clothing brands, footwear brands, and accessories brands. And right now, I believe the company is undervalued compared to its peers. I haven't checked its peers yet, and I also think it's undervalued to what it's currently trading at in the market. And right now, that's just kind of an intuition. I haven't really dived deep into the analysis yet, but I guess I have 5 primary drivers behind why I think the VF Corporation is currently undervalued. And so the first one really has to do with the fact that before I even start here, I'll start with what the current situation is. So the current situation is a lot of investors in the market is really punishing. It has punished VF Corp's stock price in the past 2 years. I think from the high of around 80 to 70 back in January 2021, and now it's trading around $17, and it's currently January 2024. So in about 2 years, that's 80, maybe a 70% decline in price. 75% decline in price. So it's suffered a lot, and one of the main reasons why is one of the core drivers of growth and value for VF was the Vans brand. And back in the 2010s, Vans was doing great. They were selling a bunch of their core models. So you have the old school, the slip-ons, the skate highs, and all influencers, a lot of celebrities were wearing these types of shoes. It was pretty much free marketing for the brand itself, and it was a really big hit within kind of the mainstream fashion and footwear market at the time. Now, post-COVID, we see revenues for VF Corp start to fall, and it fell a lot. From around $4 billion in 2020 to 2019, so they changed their fiscal year to reports at the beginning of March the following year. So it gets a bit confusing. So fiscal year 2023 is actually March 2022 to March 2023. And so in fiscal year 2020, you saw a really, really strong sales in Vans, about 4 billion. And then COVID hit, dropped to about 3.5, I believe. And then during the recovery of 2021, so that's fiscal year 2022, then we saw a increase in sales again to around 4 billion, but afterwards it started tapering off, and now in 2024 we saw that Vans has continued decline in sales quarter over quarter and also year over year. So that's one of the biggest drivers behind why the company itself isn't performing as well. The second, I would say, is probably due to the high leverage that VF Corp undertook in late 2020. So one of the I guess big strategy moves that VF had in 2020 was purchasing Supreme for about $2 billion. And in order to raise cash, in order to make that purchase, it had to raise a lot of debt. So it increased its debt ratio from about 1.14, debt to equity ratio from 1.14 to 1.8. So it increased it by more than half in order to fund this transaction. And looking back, starting from today, we see that this transaction actually hasn't really materialized any real value for the brand, for the company itself. In fact, VF had to impair about 700 million worth of intangibles and goodwill for the Supreme acquisition. So that's definitely one of the biggest drivers of, another big driver behind why the stock price has fallen so much. And I'd say those two are probably the biggest catalyst to why we're here today. I would say maybe another big thing could be that Timberland sales are also falling. So not all of VF Corp's main brands, so Timberland, Dickies, and also I believe Timberland, Dickies, and Vans, those are probably the three biggest brands that are facing declining revenues. I think maybe in the past 2 quarters, which, past 2 quarters, it's just a single quarter. So I feel like there probably can be some leeway, especially because as there's some economic turmoil, and we're not completely sure whether or not there's going to be a recession. So that's another big risk too. So maybe the third, I would say, is more of an economic risk of how likely a recession is going to happen within the next year, next 2 years. And that's definitely going to have a material impact on VF. Now, that's kind of where we are today. And so where I see growth in the future and value being generated in the future is, one, being the North Face business. So it turns out that the North Face business has had really strong growth year over year, quarter over quarter for the past decade really, and it hasn't stopped yet. I think North Face has a really strong brand presence within the outdoor segments with competitors like Columbia, Patagonia. Those are the main ones that I know of, maybe Burton, some of these main outdoors type brands. I think North Face has one of the highest brand premiums or brand values within the business. And then the second has to be that VF recently hired a new CEO, Bracken Darrell. He was previously CEO at Logitech, and I believe he was in charge of turning around Logitech and also the Old Spice brand. I think both have been pretty successful. And also, he's now trying to lead a turnaround at VF, specifically trying to target his VF reinvent strategy in order to really give brand autonomy back to the different brands within his portfolio. I think the previous CEO, Steve Rendell, he really tried to create this corporate Death Star. That's what Engage Capital said in one of its slide meetings, that a lot of these brands kind of follow the mission of the corporation, VF as a entity itself, instead of really focusing on what makes their brand their brand. I think another big part of the strategy is reintroducing some new leadership within the Vans business and also reducing cost, putting that towards research and development and marketing, and then also deleveraging the balance sheet. So those are its main goals. I think I'm optimistic about what's going to happen. I think Vans is still a really strong brand. It has a really strong brand image. It doesn't really need to market the brand itself, but maybe just the products that have maybe fallen out of fashion compared to other competitors as well. So the third driver, I think, let's take a look. The acquisition of Supreme in 2020. So looking back, it hasn't been too great, but I think looking forward, there's still opportunity for growth, especially in the Asian market. I think Supreme has a big opportunity internationally. Maybe it's saturated in the US market. It seems like it's lost its hype and appeal towards your traditional hype beast type people. But in the international space, especially in China, South Korea, Japan, it already has a few stores in Japan, mostly China. I think there's a really interesting opportunity there. And then fourth, so the activist investor Engage Capital, they actually invested a big stake into VF, thinking that through their guidance, they can really achieve a stronger operational efficiency, they can cut costs and reach a share value of around $40 per share. And five, I think VF is planning on selling its PAX business, and so that is probably going to be able to help generate some cash flow and be able to pay back some of the debt outstanding on the balance sheet itself. So that's kind of a high-level overview of my thesis, and I think moving forward to kind of understand how VF has operated in the past, we can see that it's really tried to acquire and sell off, maybe spin off brands or companies that it thinks can really promote growth and value within its business. So that's its main business strategy at a high level. And from the 1970s to the 1990s, this is kind of where VF became one of the top apparel retailers, apparel manufacturers in the world. And that started with Lee's and Wrangler. So these two businesses were VF's most valuable businesses in the 1970s to 1990s. And this is also the time where jeans were pretty much a new trend, a new fashion staple, becoming a part of everyone's wardrobe in the 1970s, all the way up until the 1990s and 2000s. And then when the 2000s hit, you really had a shift towards kind of these jeans, leather jackets, more, I'd say, rigid clothing towards more comfortable, athletic, athleisure type styles, really pioneered by Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Russell, and Champion. The hoodie, sweatpants, these are all different types of products that that people have really embraced in the 1990s, 2000s. And I think that during this time, VF was reevaluating its portfolio of brands and decided to make some key acquisitions. The first being North Face in the year 2000 for about 150 million, and then Vans in 2004 for about 400 million. And these two ended up being, to date, VF's most valuable acquisitions. So VF, Vans, and North Face are the most valuable brands in VF's portfolio today. And for the next decade, Vans and North Face have really propelled VF to the next level in terms of growth, in terms of sales, in terms of value. And then the 2010s, VF has been able to generate a lot of cash flow and was able to make a few more acquisitions, the first major one being Timberland. So that was part of building its outdoor portfolio, and I think this was in 2011 for about $11 billion. And then there was another acquisition of Williamson-Dickies, and this was in 2017 to really build its workwear segment. And that's kind of been the strategy looking in the past. In the 2020s, in the most recent 4 years, VF ended up acquiring Supreme for about $2.1 billion in cash. And so this required a lot of debt fundraising in order to fund the transaction. And so that's kind of where we are right now, where VF has still a lot of debt outstanding on its balance sheet compared to its peers and compared to historical levels. And so that's one of the catalysts of why the stock price has declined so much in the past 2 years. And moving away from the transactions and the acquisitions, on the more corporate level, Steve Rendell, starting in 2017, he was appointed CEO, and he was a CEO that really championed the idea of direct-to-consumer. And so his idea was to really shift all of VF's business, or a majority of VF's business, from B2B or wholesale towards a more direct-to-consumer model. So direct-to-consumer includes things like retail sales and VF's own stores, and also online sales, and also concession stores. So I believe concession stores are little shops within a shop. It's mostly common in Europe. And it turns out he was actually pretty successful in kind of making this transition from direct to consumer. He moved about 13% of revenues starting at the end of 2017 towards, I believe, 2023. So this is March 2023. Direct to consumer is about 45% of sales. And then by analyzing the income statement for VFC, it becomes apparent that gross margins have improved, but at the same time, selling, general, and administrative expenses have also increased. And like I mentioned before, this is where we left off last time. This is where we saw the tightening of the spread between the two, and we saw that maybe this direct-to-consumer shift might have not generated as much value as it should have. So I think today what I want to do is take a look at some of the operating segments. So there's really 3 operating segments that VF has right now. First one is outdoor, second is active, third is workwear, and see how those have been performing in the past 4 or 5 years, and also look at how each of the brands performed in the past also 3, 4, 5 years. I think VF hasn't reported the brand revenues until I think 2020, fiscal 2020. So getting all of that data might be a little bit harder. I'll try to do what I can. Before I start, I'm gonna close my window. That's not cool. Alright, so that's where I have this data.txt. So this is what I've kind of gotten, but just by manually going through the 10Ks of VF. So we have our segment profits, 2019. Right, I see. Okay. So this is kind of where we are today. There's a slight decline in 2021, but it kind of recovered in 2022. Okay, maybe we can have a trailing 12 months. So we have 449. Oh, wait. Six months ended September 2023. Okay, so we have 1486.3. So plus okay, so how I'm going to do this calculation, I have the 6 months ended September 2023. So it'll be September, August, July, June, May, April, March. Okay, so I think this is perfect. This is exactly 6 months from March. And so what I think I can do is then I'll take our fiscal 2023, which is a full year ended March, and then add that here. And then I'll subtract 6 months ended September 2022. Yeah, okay. So this is 2023, this will be 2022, 1899.0. So let's take a look at what that is. Print. Oops. Okay. So yeah, it seems like it's not doing too great, but this doesn't incorporate the actual I think, the most valuable quarter of, oh, right. It does incorporate Q4, Q3. Yeah, it's not doing too great. Shoot. But I guess we can't fully compare just because it's different time periods. But I can see why, yeah, it's not great. On the North Face end though, you have, so plus, minus. Okay. Vans, TGM, print, North Face, TTM. 0.8. Let's just round up. Okay, so it seems like as of the past 12 months, the North Face has been become more valuable than Vans. Okay. Yeah, I am a bit worried though because there was a cyber incident with VF and the North Face, so curious to see on how that impacts sales and impacts sales in the future. All right. So Timberland, we have trailing 12 months, 742.5 plus 793.6. Oh, we subtract this, and then we add so this is Timberland trailing 12 months. Okay, so that's not doing too great either. All right. Then we have, so what is this? 742.5 plus 752 minus 7.9. Oh wait. Minus 356.8. Okay. Never mind. This is a big difference. 308.1. Okay, so this is trailing 12 months. Dickies TTM. Whoa. Okay. I think I messed something up here. I have an extra 5. Okay. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Okay. Oops. Where did that data.txt? Okay. So these are our figures. All right, let's take a look then at, let's see how we can bring this into let's see how we can bring that into our analysis here. So have this, I think we can maybe read the file line by line. All right. So how do I read a file again? I forgot. Read file in Python. Let me ChatGPT this because I feel like ChatGPT is probably gonna be helpful. Python. So with file open, I think we could do that. So in the current directory, we'll do data.txt as file.read. Okay. So for line in file. All right, let's take a look. If let's see, we can import regx as re. If line dot okay, so what were the regular expression? So print line. Okay, nice. So re.compile. I think in re.compile we pass in a regular expression. Oh wait, okay, so what about maybe this isn't what I'm looking for. So search versus match. If line re dot search. So what is this? Brand revenues. Okay. Line. Okay, so this is end. Brand revenue flag is equal to false. It's equal to true. Okay, so we have so if brand revenue flag, then so else if brand revenue flag, then we will okay, so what am I trying to do here? I have this structured so that it's Timberland, Vans, North Face. Okay, let's see. Let's just print line first, and then .elif, ru.search, brand, and brand revenue line. Right. False. Okay, so we got the values you wanted. All right, I'm gonna go get something real quick.
You can't say pop without the smoke. You still can't say pop without the smoke. Because you're a Texan. No one cares about you. If they can succeed. Succeed, sorry. Succeed. I know exactly. I know exactly what you do.
I'm gonna use the bathroom too.
You're the guy during a rap battle that says yeah. You're the guy in a rap battle that just says yeah. Yeah, that's all you do. You just a reinforcer. Be a hype man. But you're from Texas, so shut up. You're not a New Yorker. My whole family's from New York, man. Listen, by blood, I'm a New Yorker. By blood, I'm a New Yorker. Sorry. My mom's from Brooklyn, my dad's from Brooklyn, my grandma's from Brooklyn, my grandpa's from Brooklyn. We come from Brooklyn. Yes. Metro. I'm taking Metro and I'm just Jetson can sit down and sit a little baby. Not the baby, I don't know if that's ever the baby.
Oh, okay, maybe do here is brand. Oops. Brand. Brand. Right. Okay, so year. Maybe time. Just so I can match with a regular expression. Maybe there's better ways to do this, but it's the way that makes most sense to me for now. Okay. So brand data is equal to do this. So if brand so if line search match brand line. Okay, so if we matched with the brand name, Then we want, how do we get, oh man, I forgot how we extract a certain part. Oh man, totally forgot what a tokenizer does. A token, I guess, is just a specific symbol. Okay, I guess a tokenizer just converts things into specific symbols. Oh, it's a Python regex capture group. I think that's what it is. Capture group. Oh wait, given a Pythons. Oh, what about using regular expressions? I think maybe we could dot plus. So this could be anything, right? So anything after. Mm. Okay. Brand revenue flags. You have the false. Brand. Okay, line. to if line 0 maybe is equal to b. So else checks for brand, this checks for time. Zero to 5 brand. Time.
With all due respect, if there's no TikTok, that doesn't matter.
5.
Listen, I'm not saying they're not a big culture. If you've got TikTok, Logan doesn't know that. Because Logan used to scroll, shut up, I got you read like a book. I got you read like a book. I got you read like a fucking book. Logan is scrolling TikTok, goes through his first drafts, and he sees 2 girls singing out a song, and he's like, huh? Who's this? Logan finds one half a song, and then he texts somebody.
Group 1 dot strip. So, and then we can add this to our brand data. Brand is equal. So we have empty, yeah. Year value pair is equal to re.match. Time. Alright, so year is equal to match dot group 1 dot strip okay, so we have that. Then we can do brand data brand call it year is equal to value. Alright, then at the end, let's just print brand data. Right. Oh, right. Let's just maybe we can strip. Just strip it. Line dot strip Python. Right, print off. Strip. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Line. Let's see. Line dot strip. Strip. Let's see. Built-in method of string objects. Oh. There we go. Nice, nice. Okay, we got our data. Finally, we have our data. Finally, we have our data. All right. Nice. Okay, so print brand data, and then I wonder how we can create. How do I turn this into, okay. How do I make a stacked bar charts in Matplotlib? Huh. I might look into GPT-4 because it seems like $20 a month. Okay, I think I'm gonna try to do it. Let's see.
and white by Michael Jackson. I'm taking Michael Jackson over Kid Cudi every day. Black and white by Michael Jackson. So yes, that was a resurgence. I didn't know he had that in him, to be honest. I hate that song. I hate that song. Not better. He's made better. Fireball's just, I don't like that song.
Bar function for the same.
I only listen to it. Yes, there's a legend now. He's a household name. That's true. That's true. But you know, but Tiesto was Tiesto.
Oh, does it really output it for you?
Did you make those try that one song with Justin Bieber? That should shut everything. Cold Water. Justin Bieber takes Usher, puts him in a chokehold, and taps him out. I hate using sounds that are just gonna do.
Oh, this is what it looks like, eh? Stack bar chart example. So categories, PLT that bar.
Listen, Justin Bieber solos everywhere. Justin Bieber's my car.
What if I had, how do I do this with 4 different series?
Calvin Harris. I'm not a nostalgia merchant. I'm taking Calvin Harris. He's got Slide featuring Frank Ocean. Okay. You have fun. Have fun with it. Calvin Harris has a song with Young Thug and Puerto Rico. He's also got a song with Shinsei. He's got a song with Shinsei. That's all he is.
Okay. Category series
That's all my copy.
Oh. Alright.
You gotta lift off that Kanye freaking resurgence. That is one of the greatest songs ever made. Yeah, that's the craziest one. We should have gotten it. That's why the Queens did never. The Eagles are the modern day Eagles. The Eagles are the modern day Eagles.
Response to what does these?
So, want me to answer your question? I will not be taking
Okay, so I think maybe I could do something along the lines of
Listen, Mary J. Blige and Kendrick slid up that joke. He loved that. He loved that. He loved that joke. I wanted to, but he loved it. He loved it. I wanted to. It's never happened. No, God. Frank Ocean could please. Frank Ocean is.
Brian Waits.
Nope. Now or never. Now or never featuring Mary J. Blige. Now or never featuring.
Bottom is zeros, 3, Prince, bottom. Porno buys. I see.
Usher's just the worst version of R. Kelly. That's all celebrity.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, maybe we could do something like this. So I think in order for us to create our stack bar chart, we need to stack them by using the bottom feature when we're doing
Joey, so you had motion, Joe? You had motion, Joey?
the bar.
I would too. I would too. I would too. Joey,
And so I think what we can do is, in order to create the bottom, so we need brands is equal to brands data, brand data dot keys, so length of brands. Right, so we print brands. Okay, dot keys. Okay. And then we can iterate through all of the brand names maybe. So for brands and for brand and brands, print brand. Okay, there we go. Items.
classic Gladden Gate Zero. That song has me singing in the shower like it's no tomorrow. You can take that, but I'm singing in the shower. I'm singing in the shower like it's no tomorrow. I know what you're talking. I remember that ad. Everton, I remember the ad where he walks out and he's sitting with the Seahawks fans all around him. I remember that shit. I remember that shit. Carter was in the crowd next song.
Let's see. Is it possible to get a list of keys and list of values? Corresponding values of Python. Python 2.7 maintain the order in which the items are inserted. Okay, nice. data brand keys value list is equal to brand data brand dot values. So print time list, print value list. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is right. Okay. So they are corresponding. Okay. Note that keys and values should be corresponding. Thanks to ChatGPT. Okay, I didn't realize how powerful ChatGPT was. Man, this actually makes coding a lot easier. Okay, this is really, really nice. Value. Although, who knows, maybe I think maybe if I become too reliant on this, my coding might deteriorate. I don't know. Okay, so we have bottom is equal to mp dot 0. Oh, never mind. So, okay, we have value list, time list. Now I think what we could do is we could do the plotting itself. So fig axis equal to plt dot subplots, right? And then we could do x dot bar. We'll do value list species. Time list, value list, label is equal to brand, bottom is equal to bottom base. Okay, then we have bottom plus equal to value list bottom base plt dot show I see. Stop. mp.broadcast. Okay, what's the problem here, Bex? Label is equal to brand, bottom is equal to bottom base. Let's see, lists, list. No, even that. R0 prints time list. See, are they two different value? Oops. 5, 5. Okay.
Stronger by Kanye. That's not even fucking close, bro. Come on, bro. Anything off graduation soloist, anything with
Wait, print bottom base.
that's all we've never made. That's all we've never made. That's all we've never made. What song?
Oh, we need this to be. Okay, yeah. I think we need this to be. Maybe we don't need the list. Let's see what happens. But we definitely do need this not to be the length of brands, but the length of.
Drunk and hot girls you were talking about. That's not
Brand data. Brands. 0. Keys. Length. Let's see. Okay, you know what? Let's just manually do it. I think there are how many years? Notes we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 4 years and 1. It's trailing 12 months. Okay.
That's the best song ever made. It's the best song ever made. That was my number one song this year. That's the best song this year.
Can I use on D type 2 without casting roll? Same kind.
Joe has never heard Waka Waka in his life. That's the difference between me and Joe. Joe's never heard it.
Oh.
Loki, you cooking something?
Value list. Let's see. What's value list 0 look like? Wait, what? Print value list. Okay, yeah, so these are strings actually. Okay. P dot float 64.
But hard to paint versus no hands, though. Hard to paint is fucking crazy, bro.
Okay, maybe we do need this. Let's see. Oh, okay, so we do need to convert this into a list. All right. Yes, the keys is something different. Yeah, I wonder if we can display the percentage or maybe the actual value. Okay. X.legend. So lock is equal to upper left. It's not great.
Sway makes me think of Houston. For some reason, sway makes me think of like Houston.
12, 8. Let's see.
That he lives in the city, that immediately to confiscate the money.
Five. Five.
They need to play that in doctor's offices.
Okay. Vans. It's declined. North face.
Sweet escape was
Stacked bar chart sample. How do we add value to the portion of the
Everton, are you joking? That shitty Ale and Teo song? That shitty Ale and Teo song? That sounds fucking terrible. That sounds terrible. You might as well start playing Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Later. That sounds garbage.
Damn, this is pretty. Right, so putting data into Panda's data frame is the easiest way to plot a stack bar chart. Okay, let's try that then. So df is equal to pd dot data frame. So this is what our data looks like right now. Is there a way we can maybe... So do we melt? I'll change our formats. Let's see, brand data dot values. List. Let's see what happens if we do this here. So display df. Oh wow, that is beautiful. Okay, index is equal to brand stack keys brand data. Oh my god, yeah, that is beautiful. Okay. Oh, that feels so good. I'm not gonna lie, that shit feels good. Okay. So we have our data frame here of all of the stuff that we need to plot. All right. Multiple is equal to stack. Data is equal to df. So x is equal to okay, so we need a melt. Seems like, what do we melt on? Transpose. I think this is what we might need in order for the histogram plot for matplotlib. So dft is equal to df.t transpose plot T dot plot. What's V for C and X? Okay, for C and X dot containers. Wait, what is print C? 5 artists. Okay. Next up, bar label. C labels. Labels is equal to for V and C. Labels. Label type is equal to center. Oh my god. Gets heights. What the hell? So round. Nice. Nice. 12, 8. So I think this is going to be year, Y label, Steve. Okay. Okay, so we can see here kind of how each of the brands have affected revenues. Okay, so 1734, that's Timberland, declined. 3848 North Face, 3270 Vans. All right. Okay, so that's interesting. We have to spend a lot of time making this charts. Maybe not enough time actually analyzing what this means. Yeah. But I think it's good enough for today. Yeah, gonna make a call real quick, so I'll see you for now. Bye.